There you go.
Boom! Boom, 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 boom. Guys, I got a lot of text messages on the side, and they were like, Mike, we miss you. We miss your voice. We miss your perspective. Yeah.
Did they mean they miss you in the playoffs?
Yeah, well, I do. I certainly do. Hey, guys, I'm back. Hey, guys, this is the first question of the night. This is what I sent you. I said we have a big question. It's my birthday.
Yeah.
It's Mike Colelli episode, 1215, episode 72. First question, favorite memory with Mike Colelli? It's got to be the first question.
Jesus.
The
10-minute pre-pod production meeting.
True. No, don't remember that.
Good. That was good.
That's my favorite Pete DeLuca memory. That's not
my favorite. Maybe my favorite memory was when I broke your nose in 3rd grade.
Hey, I told my kids that story, and they were like, "Wait, you mean Pete from the podcast broke your nose, and you're still friends with him?"
It was an accident.
I'm like, forgiveness.
How did it happen?
Forgiveness, girls. Pete, how did it happen?
We were playing football. We played catch a lot then, like throwing the Nerf back and forth. And Mike jumped for one. I jumped for one. And I think Mike, did you slip? Yeah, it was in like Brookside had like a dirt thing that everyone played in. I think Mike might have slipped and my knee went into his nose. And right when that happened, they rang the attendance bell for everyone to freeze.
Do you remember, Pete? Do you remember they were like, everyone freeze?
I grabbed you.
And then they were like, unless you're injured. And the two of us walked. And they were
we kept walking.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like a real friend. I grabbed Mike. Mike was holding his face. And we walked towards the principal. I was like, oh my God, man, I'm so sorry.
I remember the big joke we had. I had a green starter jacket. And there was blood all over it. And you and I were like, check it out. It's the Italian flag on my jacket.
Yeah, it's my favorite Mike Colelli memory.
Case?
I don't know if it was my favorite. I saved Mike Colelli's life once.
You did. True story.
Yeah.
How?
Some details probably inappropriate for the pod, especially if your daughter's going to listen. But Mike had too much fruit punch once, and he tried to walk into oncoming traffic, and I pulled him back. Probably, I would say, not to make it too drastic, but probably 10 to 15 feet. So like close enough where it was like, I got to grab you, like you're not coming back. Yeah,
you owe him one. Yeah.
Was that 20? Was that 21? That was 21, right?
That was 21. It was coming out of prime time, if I recall.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I saved Mike's life once.
You did. You did, guys. Hey, thanks, guys. It's really a pleasure to spend my birthday with you. Favorite point of my day right now.
Where's DeVito?
Where is DeVito?
He's at a Bruins game.
He went to the Bruins game before your birthday.
Daddy son duty.
I sent him to the game.
He can't get enough hockey, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I like sports and everything, but hockey, that's a lot of hockey.
Did DeVito play hockey in high school?
I don't think so.
No.
Mainly,
I think like most of sports, he played till he was 12 when he was a dominant force, and then retired. He got hurt.
Yeah, the only sports he really played was football. Then he had surgery, and then baseball, then surgery.
Which he got hurt in college.
Yeah, it was either baseball, football, or surgery. All right, episode 72. Look for the YouTube link in the podcast description, and Entering Milford is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere really that podcasts are available. And don't forget to follow us on Entering Milford on Twitter. If it's not funny, that's because Brian Casey tweeted it.
Hey, you wish me a happy birthday today, Case. That meant a lot to me. Case.
Mike, where'd you go where'd you go these past couple? You were playing basketball?
Well, Tuesday I had a basketball game. What did I do last week?
I don't know.
I'm on the once a week.
Disappeared just like in the standings. Casey, Steve's not here. You and I, only two with no life. So welcome back.
I don't think it's no life. We just have our priorities straight. Yeah.
All right, week 15 preview coming up, and we want to take gets Mike's take on the leftover teams, who he thinks is going to make the final 2 spots in the playoffs, and what he thinks about the Survivor finale. Did you watch the Survivor finale?
Don't spoil it. I haven't watched it. We're watching it tomorrow night. I know who I think is going to win. Don't say anything. I will be so mad at you if you tell me who wins. Pete, I'm serious. If you tell me who wins, I'm leaving the pod. Deal? You want me to tell you who I think wins?
It's a decent out to have.
So before today at work,
Cassidy wins.
I got to work pretty early. I swear to dude, I think Cassidy wins. I'm gonna be so pissed at you, dude. So I was thinking this morning, I got to the office and I was there pretty early. And I was like, man, it feels like we've been talking about how poor Darian has been all season. And then there he sits in 4th place. And so I was like, let me go back through, so I went 2022, which is the current season, to 2004, and I looked at the 4 teams that made the playoffs, and then I looked at where did they finish in total points on the season.
Okay.
Do you know where Darian is today? Again, obviously a lot can happen between now and the weekends. Do you know where he is at the moment, total points, even though he's in 4th place standing wise?
I mean, he's been hot lately, so I would say bottom 5.
But give me a number.
7.
He is the 8th place team.
Oof,
from a points perspective. What is the lowest total points someone has been when they've made the playoffs? Like, do you think anyone's been the lowest point total in the league and made the playoffs?
Wow. Lower than 7th? I don't think so. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say Darian might be the only person to be this low in scoring and make the playoffs.
Yeah, he'll be the lowest of all time.
We have had in the totality of, again, not the whole league, 2022 to 2000. What did I say? Whatever. We've had
10.
5 times. 5 times the 8th place scoring team in the league has made the playoffs.
What?
5 times. 5 times. So when I looked at it, let's assume Darian stays 8th in points.
Okay.
Do you have any predictions on the outcomes in the playoffs of those teams?
I feel like if that had happened, then they must have gotten hot towards the end of the season. So I assume that they must have ended well. And maybe I would say 5 of them did it. I don't know. 3 of them are champs.
It's got to be one of those things where they had some injuries maybe along the way and they got healthy late or something.
0. They all got wiped. Wow.
So Darian's track record, if you finish 8th, which is where he is, it's been happening 5 other times over the course of the last 15 years, 20 years, I think close to 20 years. 8th place, has made the playoffs 5 times. They have no titles. Lowest, I'm going to give you I then looked and I said, wait a second. There's a couple of years where the top 4 teams made the playoffs. Very cool. I like those seasons when I looked. I'm not going to go back. I then looked and I said, well, let me see if you put the 4 playoff teams, just the 4 playoff teams, how many times over the last 20 years have of the 4 playoff teams, the lowest total points won the Super Bowl? Did you get the question?
Yep.
So I have 20 years. We have 20-year history. 4 teams make the playoffs. How many times have the lowest seed won the Super Bowl in 20 years? Lowest point total, not seed.
Woo, Kittle just went nuts.
Or DeVito.
Lowest point total for DeVito. I don't know, Mike. I would say lowest point total the lowest point total to make it to win it all. I would say maybe 2 or 3 times. Once? Ooh, crazy. Who? Yeah, that was a bad year.
It was bad. So over the last 20 years, the lowest point total going into the playoffs has won 1 Super Bowl, which was my Super Bowl in 2010.
I don't know why I fall for it every year. You're the answer to every one of your questions.
I knew you were going to say I wasn't.
He's the Riddler. That's all he does.
I wasn't planning on it. But the track record of the league.
Fall for it every time. I'm like Charlie Brown.
The track record of the league says if you're the lowest scoring team going into the playoffs, the chances of you winning the Super Bowl is very low. I will, however, say this is what I will call the lucky award. So who had the lucky schedule? The most? Who do you think has been the lowest scoring team? It is not me. Who do you think has been the lowest scoring playoff team the most times in the last 20 years? Once I give you the answer, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. DeVito?
No.
I don't know. In case you got to guess.
Me.
So, guys, 19. We've had 19.
Mike. Wait, I should say Mike.
No, it's not me.
He said it wasn't him.
In 19 seasons that I've had this, one person has been the lowest total points in the playoffs 7 times. I was doing this and I was like, that feels kind of crazy.
Is that Spates?
Spates?
Yeah, okay. Because he's made the playoffs a lot. Yeah.
7 times Spates has made the playoffs and been the lowest scoring team in the playoffs.
And he gets bounced a lot.
He has won 0 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian?
Pete, how much do you want to bet that Mike was doing his research? Once he got to the point where he found out that he was the answer, he threw in more research just so he couldn't we wouldn't fall for that trap.
Nope. False. I will tell you why I did this.
I'll do one more. I'll do one more research project.
Like,
you know,
and the
Brian,
answer is
no, Brian. I will. The opposite happened. I was doing, and I'm like, man, feels like the Darian's team stinks. And I said, I'm like, have we ever had a Super Bowl champion who's been the lowest scoring team? And then whenever 2022, no, 21, no. All of a sudden we get to 2010, and it's like, there's me, and I'm like, oh man, I have to do more stuff.
You're not very good. You're not very good.
Better than you, Brian. That's all I know.
the year was a
I don't
heartbreaker.
know about that.
How many Super Bowls you got?
0, but apparently yours is not really good.
Well, it's still a Super Bowl. I thought interesting stat. So Darian has an uphill battle to climb, or hill to climb, if he ends up making the playoffs. So the history.
Wait, did you say he had a downhill battle to climb?
I said uphill.
Uphill.
Okay.
Uphill.
Okay.
Got a great beer tonight, by the way.
What kind we got?
Mar Love, one of my
Why do you-
favorite breweries. Mar Love, delicious.
Why do you guys blur? I don't get it. Who do you think we're talking to?
Lloyd.
All right. Let's pause for an ad read. Okay, that's it.
Did you change the ad, Pete? Because the last one wasn't very funny.
I mean, I can change it to another one if you want.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on it. I recorded it in my car when I was sitting by myself one time waiting to go into work. It wasn't 9 o'clock yet.
Well, you preempted it last pod, pre-production, saying that you made some jokes, and I thought you were going to make jokes about more than one person, but apparently you didn't. You just
Nah, man, I spoke from the heart. The app is very good. Anyway, let's get into the Week 15 preview. I'm going to do these games a little out of order, but I sent you guys all the stuff. So follow that sheet. Colelli, do you even know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
All right, get your dad headphones in. All right, we're ready to roll. All right, let's start with the least meaningful game in the entire week. It is the number 2 seed me against the number 8 seed Spates. I am 6-4 against CJ. I barely beat him in week 6. I'm gonna sell out for the boom. I'm just gonna try and go for it. So I'm just gonna let you guys know that it is a meaningless game for me. I'm still gonna look at my schedule, so this is not the roster. So to make this game that is very boring entertaining, I'm gonna go ahead and guarantee myself as boom of the week. I'm gonna go out there and call it guaranteed boom on Spates. So mark it down. I'm cutting the line and picking myself. Mike, let's go to you first. Spates was your Super Bowl pick. What happened to him this season? And if you had his team, what would you have done differently? I want to know that. Did he sell too early?
He didn't sell too early. I still feel like it was the right pick. I didn't, and I forgot to factor in the case that Spates is just an average fantasy manager. Sorry, CJ. The beginning. So
those are fighting words.
I will say, beginning of the season, CJ had, and we used to text about it a lot. He had a lot of either bad decisions or bad luck, and I think at the beginning of the season, he didn't take a strong enough stance on what roster he wanted to put on the field and who he wanted to ride, and he kind of lacked the consistency to say, these are the guys that I'm going to go. And the thing I would have done if I was CJ is chunked my season in a more strategic way. And so I think those are the key things I would have done. I think he didn't make a quick enough decision with Rodgers because he really hurt him the first couple of weeks, and he dug himself a hole that was a little bit too insurmountable for him to climb out of. That being said, I do still like Spates' roster, and there are rumors that he's my early 2023 dark horse to win the league. I heard it on the side. I didn't, not reporting it, but great to have you back, CJ.
I was going to let you talk, but I could not disagree with you more. I feel like he is the one player that is like, he has McCaffrey, Mixon, and like he has players that he like stands by and doesn't do anything.
Like Rodgers. That's what I'm saying. Like Rodgers.
I heard Casey, I think you said this last week, like he hasn't found the right combination of people to play, but I feel like he just plays the same boring lineup regardless every single
time. He's the same guy. He's the same guy at the beginning of the year that his bench outscored his starting lineup. That was him. And then also last week he plays in a 100%. Meaningless game. He plays in a meaningless game. He beats Breen. He leaves Jerry Jeudy on the bench, which he could have got the boom. He could have got his first boom, but he didn't play the right guy, and he finished third in the boom rankings last week. So CJ's curse, I think, is that he's had too many movable pieces, playing a lot of young guys early, and he just wasn't hitting on any of them.
So I'm looking. I don't agree with what you guys are saying. Go back and look at Space's roster the first couple of weeks. I'm going to give a piece of advice to CJ. He's not going to listen. Don't listen to me, Space. You have a good vasectomy. You don't have any more kids. You're good. He was way too reactive the first couple of weeks. And if you look, He was, I'm going to start these 4 guys. He was good. He was bad. He's in. He's out. Versus, let me see the metrics. Let me see my target share. Let me see and let me be patient with the decision making versus whipsaw myself to say, this guy played well, so he's in. This guy played poorly, so he's out. And he tried to catch fire in a way that it's very hard to predict that week to week. You have to stand by, this is what I'm thinking. These are the people I want to ride, chunk my season first couple weeks. Now I'll move on and see what happens. He was too late on Olave. He was too early on Renfro. Like, there were too many choices like that. Then in hindsight, I think CJ would look at and say, you know what? I had a really good guy every week on my bench, and I didn't think in a good strategic way about who I was playing.
Wow. Pete, was that a long-winded way of saying that he just didn't get the right combination of players in there?
Man, I don't know. I was hovering over that mute button.
Yeah, I think it was.
You're getting ready to get donged.
Jeff, when you listen to this tomorrow, text the group and say, Mike, A+ picture you sent to you and Pete, A+ analysis on CJ. Pete?
All right. I picked myself and guaranteed a boom. Who you got?
Yeah, Mike, can you just pick somebody?
I'm picking Spates. He's my upset. Lock of the week. Boom of the week. I'm kidding. Spates is my upset, though. Come on, CJ. Let's finish this thing out.
I'm literally going to go for the highest score possible. So I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm taking Spates. I'm back Spates. Let's go, baby.
This is not the lineup. I'm gonna do some more research over the weekend. I'm gonna throw something together before Saturday.
I hope so. You got Latavius and Slayton in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have 1 or 2 risky things that I'll see if they pay off.
Yeah.
What am I gonna beat? Who cares if I beat Spates?
Yeah,
exactly.
This game, we're spending a lot more time on this than we should.
That's the point. Pete, can we switch the order of the games?
No.
I don't want the next game next. I want the next game last.
I know. All right, Brian, go ahead. Who you picking?
I'll take Spates.
All right.
Wait, who did Steve pick?
DeVito took Pete.
Okay, so you're going to be in charge of DeVito's picks?
I got him listed. Good to go.
Aww. Thanks, Steve. All right, our next game, the Garbage Bowl, because this game doesn't matter, Colelli. There are playoff games on. There are playoff shots on the horizon. When I'm playing it
means more than
no.
The dairy getting in the playoffs.
Number 9 seed, number 10 seed, Larkin. Casey is 8-3 against Larkin, and Lloyd boomed on Casey the last time they played. That was Casey's 5th loss in a row on his way to his current shameful, depressing situation. That was
how many guys were on bye that weekend?
They're all. Dan went on to score 171 the week after that, so against Spates. So it was showed that it wasn't really a fluke. He did back-to-back big scores. He's currently on a 3-game losing streak and averaging under 100 points during that run. During that same time, Casey's averaged over 140. So I don't really see this one being particularly close. Right?
Case,
right?
You're not going to lose to him, Case.
Right, Mike? Case not going to lose this one, right?
Case.
What's up, guys?
Come
What's
on,
the spread, Pete? What do we settle on?
25.
I think it's 17.5.
Oh, is it gone down to 15? Let's go down to 15.
It's 17.5.
Case, you can't lose this game.
I'm averaging 16.5 more points than him on the year. I certainly have a new roster, but it's got to be 17.5.
Case, right. Who are you worried about? Who are you worried about on your team to underperform, and who are you worried about Lloyd potentially outperforming their numbers?
Do the dive.
So I'm worried about the bottom of my roster. I'm worried about the Juju magic. Sometimes he has good weeks, sometimes he doesn't.
The Juju.
Hubbard's in there right now. Gus is in there. I put Gus at the beginning of the week, not for the projected points like I'm trying to scare Lloyd, because I don't think he's paying attention. I put him in there because of the luck, because right now I'm 3-0 when Gus Edwards starts. So I might just put him in there for
one of those weeks. One of those weeks he scored.
That second overall pick, it's got to pay off.
I think you have a great bench play, by the way, Brad.
I heard you talk about Gus Edwards for 5 minutes one week, and he scored 1 point on Sunday. I was like, oh.
If depending what happens with the other wide receivers on that team, he'll go in. Yes, yeah. So cool. I just like the Carolina. Like, they're definitely going to run. So right now the touches are there for Chuba.
All right, Mike.
Which is better play than McKenzie.
Case can't lose this game, Pete.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Can't lose this game, dude. Case can't lose this game. Case is my luck. If Case, I honestly feel like if you
it's a death
Case, if you lose this game, I feel like you have to do something. Like, you can't lose this game, dude.
I'm gonna give Lloyd $100. That's what we're
doing.
I'm gonna regulate myself down to another league.
absolute
Casey.
worst case scenario that could have happened there was.
Case is my luck. Case is my
All
luck.
right, Brian Casey, I sent you these ahead of time because I really want you to think about this. If you lost this game, I want to know where it would rank for you as far as like most memorable things in your history. Okay, I want you to rank them 1 through 4. Okay.
In terms of what, like ascending or descending order?
The number one thing that you regret down to the number 4 thing. Like, all right. The number one thing you regret: trading Priest Holmes, losing your perfect season, losing the Super Bowl by the biggest margin in the history of the league, or challenging and losing to the worst team in the league history.
Can we give our rank too, Pete?
Yeah, Mike, go ahead and think about that. What's the worst?
Losing this bet would be number 1.
Yeah.
No, losing the season.
Yeah, I agree. I
won the regular season last year. I was projected number 2 going into this year before
everybody
the first
drank.
quarter
Everybody
of the first week. So it has to be this. The Priest Holmes one, I don't count. I was in the league for 2 seconds and Pete took advantage of me. I didn't even know what the point system was, but by the time I traded him.
That's how quickly I moved, baby.
And I think I traded him for a 2nd round pick. That was it. Just straight up.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl loss, I could care less about that one. Kamara scored like 70 points. There's nothing I could do about that. So.
All right. Wow. I can't believe.
I think this would be the worst.
This would be the worst.
I agree with Brian.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I could at least say, maybe there was too much wine involved or something like that. And we could pass that off. Losing a perfect season was 14 weeks in the making that he really rained down trash on everybody on. And then to me, I don't mean to pull a Colelli and make it about me, but
you do, Pete. You do. Well, to me, the difference is that one you were a good team that year. And so he lost to a team that was respectable. It was the playoffs. He won the regular season last year. Lloyd challenged his manhood in the draft after he had strawberry wine for a couple hours. If he goes from winning the regular season to losing to Lloyd, the worst franchise in the history for total wins in the season, that fall from grace is like catastrophic.
Yeah. He was. That would be a bad one.
It's bad.
All right. It
would be bad. Casey,
be the worst.
I got you, buddy. Lock me in, Brian.
Not to mention, we've had an ongoing pod on this whole topic for the whole year. That's not going to be lived down.
I can't. I love that it's paying off. It's fantastic.
It's absolutely. It's. Like I said on Tuesday. I don't know how we got here. This is ridiculous.
All right. Who's your pick?
Ridiculous.
Who's your pick? What do you think?
My pick?
Yep.
I'm taking myself. It's a lock. I can't take myself as anything else in terms of like boom or upset. So I'm just taking myself as a lock. I would give myself every superlative possible if I could. But I'm taking
Dan.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to say anything live on the pod?
The guy goes to sleep at like 8 o'clock. He wakes up at like.
I don't know where he is, guys. He's wearing a neck pillow right now. I don't quite know what's going on. He's wearing a neck pillow.
I'm at home.
Do you have anything to say for your big game, Dan?
No, not really. It's not looking good right now with my buddy Ken Walker.
You guarantee victory?
No, God, no. God, no. He says the better team. I'll give him that.
Oh, man, it's even worse if you lose, Brian. All right, Dan, good luck this weekend. That's it. We're live. Sorry, we're live.
He's going different approach.
It's quite the neck, though. It's not just your normal one.
Goodbye. He had one of those neck pillows with the things on it. Like it was like stabbing him in the neck. I can't do this. I shouldn't have faced that, Dan.
All right. Yeah. Well,
DeVito took me.
DeVito took you. Okay. So, prior to this, I did speak to Dan. And I think that he's got some pride for this one. I think that he's ready for it. And I bet on Lloyd a lot. So one of these days, this horse is going to pay off. So I'm going to pick Lloyd, and I'm going to pick him to be the upset of the week. Let's see what happens.
You suck.
I needed an upset, dude. I'm sorry. Head over a 9.
I'm glad.
All right. Let's transition to a game that matters. Colelli, the number 5 seed, against Innis, the number 6 seed. What's the matter, Colelli? Why are you shaking your head?
My team stinks.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
It's your fault. Well, it's your birthday. We got to be nice to you. Mike is 6-4 against Jeff. Colelli won their week 6 matchup, but it was only by 3 points. Mike, you need a win and some help. You need a birthday Christmas miracle. You might get it. How is it having your birthday in December? That suck?
My parents always did what they needed to do. I never felt as though I was second guessed. And I often had summer half birthday parties, if you recall.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys are all raining on my parade.
Aaron Dix used to love a good pool party.
Yeah, he did. I remember Aaron Dix cannonballing. Okay, so basically what you need is help, and that help could come in the form of Kevin Breen and Andy DeVita. So be on the lookout for those two handsome gentlemen. Not a terrible situation to be in, as we discussed on the other pod, but you have the lowest odds of making the playoffs, just 37.5. Casey, Mike's not going to lose this, right? Mike's not going to lose this, right? Maybe.
Unfortunately,
Mike's going to lose it.
I think you guys are just both good.
Mike. I think Mike's going to lose this one. I'm taking Ennis. I think McCaffrey's off to a good start, what you would expect out of him. The Mike White play, just because he's playing Detroit, he's got rib issues.
Cole, you really doing that?
I haven't decided on playing it.
Well, you can't play Kyler, which is probably the only blessing you have this week. I just think you got too many question marks. I don't think your big guns are going to be enough to carry you through. I see Devontae may have a tough time with New England if they take him away. DeVito was raving about some weather issue in Buffalo that could affect something, because they never get snow in Buffalo or Green Bay, so nobody knows how to play football in the snow up there.
Don't talk about Steve.
But I think if it does happen, it may slow down. So I think Ennis is going to get you, Mike. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with Christian in the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, Mike. Sorry,
Mike.
Before we talk about the help you need, which is basically the next 2 games coming up, let's talk about just getting into this game, getting the W. What are you doing to ensure a W over Jeff?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to win.
It was my faith. What happened? You were floating around the worst score of ever.
Mike, what happened to our teams?
Guys, I know what happened. 3 weeks ago, I was not able to come on Tuesday night because I had basketball. And you, Pete, asked a question and you answered the question. And I was like, that's it. My season's over. And you said, what are the chances Colelli doesn't lose again? And I'm 1-3 since you did that, Pete. So I blame you and my wife. One of the two of you is at fault for this.
Yeah, you're 1-3 since Sheila and I reconnected.
I don't know, man. It's my team really plummeted pretty quickly. I have 3 guys who I don't even know what to do with. Honestly, this week my plan is I'm playing a somewhat DeLuca game where Saturday night and how I play will dictate who I play Sunday. And
so you're playing smart?
I'm playing a little bit more strategic. And so if I kind of want Jeff Wilson to be hurt so that I can just go with Mostert and Hill. And if they play well, I'll go safe. If they don't, I'm going to play DJ Moore. I don't know. I think I'm going to lose. At the moment, I have Mike White in. I'll take Jeff. He's not my upset of the week because I picked Space. But I think Jeff's going to beat me. Jeff's team's pretty good right now.
Did you put any waiver claims, Mike, on some other quarterbacks that were available?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I feel bad. I shouldn't have dropped him. Jeez.
I traded for him and dropped him. So
you've done that a couple
Remember
times.
I drafted him and gave a big speech about how I thought he was going to be the future of my team?
Yeah, it was very annoying.
Mike went on some long rant about himself.
So Casey, who did you pick?
I don't appreciate what Kevin did. Why did he even put a bid in? He's not going to play that guy. Feels like he was kind of
value. Kevin
it feels like he was kind of spiting me.
Green's playing spoiler, baby. He's playing spoiler. He might help you with that one. All right, Casey, who did you pick? I want to remember.
I picked Ennis.
You picked Ennis. Mike, you picked yourself. All right. Well,
I just realized I picked Ennis too, and his quarterback has 0 projected points.
No, Mike, don't do it. It's not funny, dude. No one
He's
thinks.
He's going to put Cousins in.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's going to put Cousins.
All right, Pete, who do you got?
Oh my God, it's so not funny. Mike, whatever you did last week, I suggest you do the opposite of because you sucked.
You mean my starting quarterback not to blow his knee out? Kevin didn't.
Yeah. I suggest you do the opposite of whatever the hell you did last week. So even though I think you do it, I even if you could do it, I don't think it's enough. The milk's gone bad, as Rick James would say. I'm going to take Ennis.
Clay, who'd you take?
Ennis.
So DeVito is loan on Colelli. DeVito took you.
DeVito's always the number one guy.
No, and he said he believed in you.
He
All right,
did. He did. Very kind of him.
let's move this train along. The number 4 seed Darian against the number 7 seed Breen. Another game that means a lot this week. Breen is 6-5 against Christian after winning week 6 by. That was another one that was only by 3 points. Breen's struggles are well documented. So let's shift to Darian. He is the winner of 4 in a row. We said during the strength of season episode that Christian, Jeff, and CJ would all have a chance to win their way into the playoffs. That was 4 weeks ago. Jeff and CJ both went 1-3. Darian went 4-0 during that stretch. So he went out there and just took it. So Mike,
how's he doing it?
I know of all these,
just so you know, at the beginning of the season, I picked Darian to make the playoffs.
of all the must wins this week, it looks like that he might have the easiest one out of this entire group. He has an average score of about 140. Does his magic continue? What do you think?
I think if Stevenson plays, so I think this is the closest of all the games. I think Jeff's going to beat me by a decent amount. I think DeVito's going to beat DeVito by a decent amount. I think this is the closest game between the meaningful games. If Stevenson plays, I'll take Kevin. If he doesn't, I'm going to take Christian.
We need to make a decision now.
All right, we got to make a pick now. What are you doing?
Christian.
All right. I mean, you can't get much worse. What are you in last place now? I mean, no, in the picks.
No, I'm still in last. No, you're in third, Mike. I'm in last in that.
You know what? No. I need Darian to lose. Kevin's going to have a big week.
What are you doing?
Yeah, you picked
a big week.
Look up Trevor Lawrence.
Kevin's going to have a big week. He's not gonna play
it doesn't even matter, Mike. You didn't pick yourself. You picked Ennis.
Reverse jinx. I kind of like Kevin's matchups this week. Let me reverse that. Wait, what do I do if I do if I only have upsets? What do I pick as my upset? Do they all count as an upset?
You got to mark one, baby.
You have space as your upset. You already picked space as your upset.
Yeah, you got to plant a flag in one.
I'll take Kevin.
All right. Casey.
Mike, was that just a throwaway line? Which matchups do you actually like? Because they don't look very good.
Kevin.
I'm so confused at what's going on over there. He's like all over the place. All right, man. Casey. Christian's undefeated since you said
Lloyd's face.
Hey, I'm floating over the mute button, Colelli. Don't make me do it.
No, back in.
No, last place. Don't care.
He back in.
All right. So, Casey, Christian's undefeated since you sent him that extra large mustard shirt. That's what I want to know. Do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think that there was something there, that mustard shirt?
Just to everyone know, it was actually not an extra large. It was just a large. So he's swimming in a large.
There must have been some like goodwill in that, because you were the last time he lost. You stuck it to him.
I own him.
He might be humping. He can't get over that jumbo hump. Like
that's the one team I was destined to beat this year. So I don't want Christian to win. So I'm going to pick Breen. I don't like any of Breen's matchups. So this pick is more out of spite than anything else. But Christian doesn't play big. Like if he's going to win, it's going to be by a couple points. So we know Hurts is going to be good. Allen can hopefully match. Then it becomes down to who plays the best marginally of anybody else. The one thing I can say, though, is if he pulls Stevenson because he has to, Breen doesn't have a lot of options, so he's going to have to go with Dylan. Maybe that they'll get something. If it is a snow game, like DeVito says, maybe it goes run heavy. The big guy finishes it out or something, closes it out. So I'm going to go with Breen as the win, because I just would like to see Christian lose and open the door and Mike not be able to take advantage of it. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if Christian or DeVito lose, definitely opens the door for Mike. But Mike, a loss by you just ends it all, so it doesn't even matter.
And Breen's my upset.
Oh, okay. Make it.
Lloyd wants to clear the air about his roster from last week.
No, we're good. No one cares.
This is not the time or the place for it, Dan.
Just deal with your stuff, Dan. Deal with your stuff.
I'm dealing with this guy.
It's week 15. It's week 15. Tell him he's more like off-season content, more off-season.
I might have to quit the league if I lose to a guy with a neck pillow.
This will be the last time I get interrupted by Lloyd. I'm going to pick Christian. I think he's got it. I'm going to make him my lock of the week. He's been cruising, scoring a lot lately. I think Breen's phoned it in, and I think that Breen honestly doesn't really care. Like, I bet if we ask him right now, he'd be like, "Meh." So Christian seems motivated. He won 4 in a row. His team's pretty hot. I'll lock him in. Get it, Christian.
What would Breen do?
Meh.
That's good. That was good.
Yeah.
Dan texted me. I texted Dan back and I said, "Be relevant for the playoffs and we'll dial you in." And then I wrote, "Case said that."
Okay. Mike, have you been diagnosed with anything? All right. Next next game up. The game. The game of the week. All right, let's get into it. Number one, it's the toe versus the tie. This kid's cracking himself up over here. It looks
Lloyd genuinely thinks that Case is the one talking trash about whether or not he's in the playoffs.
All right, let's talk about the toe versus the tie. Steve is 7-4 against Andy in week 6. DeVito was just a pothole on Andy's way to 9-0. Andy is fresh off his 6th boom of the season. That's already he's already clinched the regular season title because I'm terrible. But he's going into the holiday season with quite a lot of money there. So good for him. Good for Nola and the kids. Very exciting. You guys know who Nola is?
He's gonna sweep like all the money this year.
He almost got all the booms. 6 booms. He already won the regular season.
Regular season title.
I can send that to him whenever he wants. So yeah, gonna be a happy holidays. Jenny, be on the lookout.
Nola. Zola?
No, Nola's his dog, who is adorable, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah,
What kind of dog is it?
I don't know. She's pretty dog, brown, and I don't know. Pretty dog. I'll send you a picture. What are we talking about? Talking about the dogs. As meaningless as this game is for Andy, it is very meaningful for Steve, who controls his own best. What?
I just saw Kittle's line.
Poor kid. Very meaningful. Imagine Steve. He must be boiling at that game right now. He must be like, "Quiet, Luca. We're not getting hot dogs."
That's what happens when you pick your family over fantasy.
Well, a loss won't hurt him, but it could. He could end up messing up and getting tossed out of the playoffs here. So, Mike, I want to talk to you first.
Yeah, go.
You and I have been in the league since the very beginning, and Andy DeVita has also been there. How surprising is Andy DeVita's performance this year? Give it like a scale of like 1 to 10, and being the most surprised.
8.
Really, this is one of like the all-time most shocking seasons you've seen.
I do. Well, I do because if you remember at the beginning of the season, we talked at the beginning. Pete said, "Love the top of his roster. What happens if the guys get injured? He doesn't have a track record of making moves." And then 2 big things happened. 1, he made multiple moves to improve his team. And 2, his team stayed very healthy. And so I think at the beginning of the year, if you looked at it and said, because you were big on beginning of the season, he'll be good. Middle of the season, he'll struggle because buys, because injuries. He's built his roster in a way where that hasn't taken shape. He had one of the more dominant regular seasons in the history of our league. I think the fact that he won isn't necessarily surprising because he had a bunch of guys. The way by which he dominated the league top to bottom, I think you'd look at and say it's a surprise. Kudos to Andy. He's had a great season. He has to be the front runner in the Super Bowl, especially if he gets the limping to Darian in round 1, that it's really his to lose when we go from now until the end of the season, assuming his team stays healthy.
Let's say he beats DeVito. He may have to play DeVito again next week.
He may have to play. He may want to not beat DeVito this week.
I was just going to ask you that. Play. Does he consider not winning this game just because he would? No, right? Yeah, you got to go for it. All right, Casey. It will take a loss and 2 wins to eliminate DeVito. But that kid's had some bad luck. Do you think he's going to get bounced?
I've been really good about my picks this year. I'm going to pick Andy as the win. Steve's going to lose. Christian's going to lose. And Mike's going to lose. So the state is going to stay with it. Well, actually, I pick Christian to win. So Christian and Steve are going to get in. Mike, unfortunately, is not going to get in.
Oh, wait, we'll go over that in a second. But all right. So what do you think of this game?
No, you don't need any analysis. I think that's good.
Okay. Who are you picking? You picking Andy?
I'm picking Andy. I'm picking Andy to boom. He's my boom.
The boom. Okay. I am. You know what? I think DeVito's going to take this game more seriously. So I'm going to go with him. I like his hopefully he has more dedication to the team than he does to his podcast friends on Thursday night. So I'm going to go with
DeVito. I'm taking DeVito as well.
I'm going to go with DeVito. I just think Andy's going to be like, guy,
Whether Andy says guy or not, he's going to play the exact same lineup he has in right now. He ain't changing anything. So
my only worry with Andy and why I'm going to pick Steve. I actually like Steve's roster is pretty full. The Higgins question mark is an interesting one, but he does have some bench guys. There's no way McKinnon does that again. And with what Houston's defense could be, he may not even be on the field that much. I'm gonna take Steve. I think Steve's a good pick this week.
Darn. Casey, who did you pick?
I picked Andy.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah, that's why I write it down. Connor has Denver at Denver. Good defense. DeVito has played up the Tampa Bay Bucks defense all year. Burrow is in Tampa and with Higgins banged up. You know what I mean? So those things are working against him. I just don't think he has the matter. Indy's got a good defense. Dalvin's in Indy.
Oh, Mike, you yawning? Cue to leave.
Like you've been all over Steve tonight, Brian. Listen back to this. I think you should listen back to this.
I'm not all. What I do, I'm breaking up things that have been brought up on the pod. I'm like, this is what happens when you show up twice a week. Like you remember things that happen.
No.
This is just all common dollar. You can't just show up and say like, you pick on him. You pick on him. No, like I'm just
I'm picking DeVito.
Things that talk about that.
I think DeVito's going to do it, which I think is exciting. It's gonna tie Andy and I both at 12-3, which it is a record I do not deserve.
Here's the thing. Does Steve overreact somewhere with his roster because he missed on Kittle tonight? And what do you think that move is? Or does he stay put? Is he good with everybody else?
Oh man, I don't know.
I think he's good. The only issue is Higgins. The Higgins one, and the fact that Higgins plays at 4:30 is the only monkey wrench in DeVito's armor. That's not the same. Because last week Higgins really hurt him. And if it's a question mark, what do we do? So I think you have to look at his roster in totality and say, if Higgins is a game time decision, at the moment he has no one to pull in. So he either has to ride with
his latest guy. It's his latest guy,
or he has to say, you know what, I'll take Myers or someone like that who has lower upside, who'd be safer if Jacoby's back. That's the only issue on Steve's roster.
I wish he was here so we could grill him on that same issue that we had with Keenan Allen, where what are you going to do if Keenan Allen can't play? No. He plays Sunday night. What are you going to do?
Mike, monkey wrench in the armor. Are you serious?
You know what I meant.
All right. What I want to do is I want to go over.
Throw a monkey wrench into it.
Okay. I want to go over everybody's playoff pictures. Okay. So I got number 1, DeVita. Number 2, me.
Then you're sitting up pretty high right now. You're in that screen, baby.
Nice. I got number 3, DeVito, if after he beats DeVita this weekend, and I have number 4, Darian after he beats Breen. I have Mike losing, but it won't matter. What do you guys have?
I have the same playoffs.
Oof. You have the win-win loss with DeVito, Darian.
Well, to me, DeVito.
Oh, you have them all losing.
I have DeVito winning. So the fact that DeVito wins by him winning, I have DeVito the 3 seed. I don't think I'm going to win. I think I had him pick. I'm picking in to boom.
Why don't you sell out to win? Like this is the entire season, Mike.
Sell out with what? My team stinks, Pete.
Well, go do some research. I'm gonna sell out.
Do some research. Well, tell me what to do.
I don't know. I'll give you pointers.
I have the Darian and DeVito flipping if my picks are right, which they never are. So, but I would have those two flipped.
Okay,
so that's the one difference.
So you're saying Darian's gonna beat Breen and DeVito is gonna lose to DeVita, so that would knock him down to the 4. Interesting.
Hold on.
And with mine, I'm having DeVito and DeVito.
No. I have it the way it is. I picked Breen too. I picked all 3 of these guys to lose this week.
So. Okay, so all 3 lose, they stay the same. Okay, so I have win-win. I have win-win loss. You guys all have a loss. So that's how it's going.
No. I have DeVito winning.
Oh, win-loss.
I have win-loss. And then I have DeVito beating you, DeVito beating Christian, and I have DeVito and DeVito.
We ain't there yet, baby. That's why we got Tuesday shows. Don't think we're bringing up Tuesday topics because you got to go play men's hoops.
I'm not going to be here Tuesday.
There's no way I'm going to be right on my picks. I picked against every favorite essentially except for myself and DeVita.
What are you trying to get there any strategy there? You try to do anything, or you just going against the ball? Trying to make up ground in the picks, Casey, or no?
Am I?
Yeah. What's the picks case? I don't even know who I picked. What's the picks recap for tonight?
The only game that Mike and I have different is the DeVita. So if I'm going down, Mike's coming down with me.
We got to brand this segment. It's time for the Sunday Rewind. At Sunday at 10 o'clock, I rewind to this one segment and I listen back to it. I love it. Tell me the picks.
Pete, I will say this.
Wait. Can it be sponsored by Blockbuster? Don't forget to rewind your videotape before we bring it back. Case.
Be kind, rewind.
Pete, you and Steve.
It was on every tape.
are on different matchups basically the entire week. This is good. There's gonna be a split here between the two of you. He's chasing you by one game. He's chasing you by a game.
Full God's honest truth though, I didn't look at his picks either when he sent them in. I wasn't even paying attention to him. So
you're literally
kind of cool.
You're opposite on everything except for the Lloyd Case matchup. You obviously went with Lloyd. Good to think. But you're both on DeVito, and you're both on you. The Colelli, Casey, and Breen matchups. You guys have different. So you have 3 games that are different. So we're gonna have a new first place team, or we potentially have a new first place team, or a big separation between Pete and Steve after this week.
I'm so confused by that, but Mike's
no idea. I have no idea what you just said.
Right, Case. Why'd you make that so confusing?
Sorry, there's 3 games that you guys picked differently.
No. Just go. Okay, first
go by game. Go by person. Who picked who?
You want me to recap Mike and Izzy, though we don't count. We don't matter.
No, just recap the games.
Just recap the games. DeLuca Spates. Who's got who? Who's got who?
In DeLuca Spates, Colelli and Case have Spates. DeLuca and DeVito have DeLuca.
I'm so confused.
In Case versus Lloyd,
by Sunday night,
everybody has Case except for Pete. Pete is lone Lloyd. In Innis versus Breen, we have
Innis plays me.
In Innis versus Colelli, we have 3 on Innis. Colelli picked against himself. The only one with Colelli is DeVito.
Oh.
In Breen versus Christian, Pete is on Christian by himself. Colelli, DeVito, and myself are on Breen.
Bad when that's my lock of the week is I'm all by myself.
Yeah, you have the lock by yourself. I have 3.
Who'd you put the lock? Who'd you put the lock?
It's Darian. Pete's the only one on him, and it's his lock of the week.
And we have all 3 you guys are on DeVito. I am lone on DeVita, the number 1 team, number 1 scoring team. I'm by myself on this week.
I wish I knew that.
Yeah.
That's
my boom.
That's ground gained right there.
Who are superlatives, Case?
Colelli, your superlatives, you have Spates as the upset, you have me as the lock, and Innis as the boom.
Wait, DeVito didn't pick superlatives.
He did pick superlatives. I'll text him afterwards. We'll get him now.
Who'd you guys pick?
Mike, did you hear about the superlative? Did you listen to Tuesday's episode? Did you hear about the superlative stuff?
No.
Did you listen?
You have not hit. Yeah, you did not. You're the only person that has.
I haven't hit a boom. I haven't hit a boom. I heard that.
1-14.
I gotta say,
probably not gonna hit it this week.
Pete, I disagree with you on putting the biggest game last. I it took me too long. I didn't get through the pods. I didn't get to the games of the week.
It's called marketing. It's called marketing, buddy.
You're assuming that your consumer retains and engages in the whole podcast.
Yeah, just leave it to me.
Hey, by the way, Pete, I've been poo-pooing on your team. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been poo-pooing on your team. Well, Casey's really been poo-pooing on your team. Tyler Lockett's really had an exceptional season. Brian, you've been saying for weeks how Pete's team is below average. True or false?
I did not say below average once.
He has below average.
I said that I'm not intimidated by them.
Below it because they're below average.
Why aren't you intimidated? Yeah. Why aren't you intimidated by them?
I don't think his names are very intimidating.
Because he thinks the names are below average.
Why? Why aren't?
Because I don't think his players are very good.
Why don't you think his players are very good? But I will say, keep going.
Beat him twice.
Tyler Lockett has had an exceptional season. We haven't talked about him at all.
No, the game with Tyler Lockett is how much you can stand. And I have lived by the philosophy of just play him and don't think about it. So once I kind of remove the option of benching him, let's see, that's the best way I can live with it, I guess. Yep. I highly recommend to any Tyler Lockett owner, just put him in and don't look.
Yeah.
How's he doing tonight?
As a former Tyler Lockett owner,
I haven't looked. So
he's doing good. He's doing
all it takes is one strike, Case. That's the best part about it.
We haven't talked real football. Who's your guys' pick Super Bowl in real football?
Real life? Probably Chiefs.
Who over who? Chiefs over
who?
It's so tough now. Everyone's hurt. I would have said 49ers before this last week.
Yeah, this kid's Purdy can't win the Super Bowl.
No, I know. That's what I would have said before he got hurt. They were rolling.
Yeah. If you had to land it today, who's your pick?
I would say it's Eagles and Chiefs, and I'll take the Chiefs.
Yeah, Andy Reid Bowl, and I would say Kansas City. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be an Andy Reid bowl. It's gonna be so obnoxious.
Yeah. The one thing, yeah, you're going to hear as much about Andy Reid as we heard about Belichick for all those promos.
Cold.
I don't think the Chiefs need to be perfect to win. I think everybody in the AFC needs to be perfect to win. So I think that's.
Well, you guys think the Chiefs are more of a lock for the Super Bowl than the Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been there before.
I think the Bills are going to win the AFC.
See, I think they got to play perfect to win, and they're banged up right now.
I think Miami's gonna miss the playoffs.
I think Miami's going to miss playoffs too. But the Bills, if they keep this up, are going to have a bye. To me, the AFC winner.
Only one team gets a bye.
Only one team gets a bye. Whoever gets the 1 seed in the AFC, I think wins the AFC.
Really?
I think the NFC is more wide open. You could tell me 5 teams in the NFC make the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if the Buccaneers are in there right now at 500.
If the Patriots make the playoffs, they will be out of the game by the end of the first period.
100%.
They will get blown out. They are not.
Or quarter.
They are the perfect example of why they should not have expanded the playoffs. This is ridiculous. And I love them, and I think they look terrible. Okay, let's end this.
Do you think that they will change the playoff without divisional winners if we keep on having like the Buccaneers get in like a 500 potential sub 500 record?
Nope.
I don't know. It wasn't good before either. Like they used to have like 9 and 7 teams in. Everyone would be like, "This is ridiculous," and now we have 8 and 8. I don't know.
Nope.
It's pretty bad.
All right.
Let's get
birthday.
before Mike does before Mike yawns again. All right.
Happy birthday to me, guys.
Happy birthday, Mike. As one of my oldest and dearest friends, I wish you happy birthday. And I remember it every year without Facebook. I need some props for that.
You get the most props today.
All right. See ya.